Good morning. Happy Sunday. Just getting set up here for our live. So there is a space for comments. So as you come on or as you join, can you just give me a wave? Let me know that you're here and that you can hear me okay. Today we're discussing how to set up your yoga space at home to give you motivation to get onto the mat. So if you're here, thank you so much for joining, and I will get started soon. Just want to make sure that you can hear me and that you can see me and all the technology is working correctly. So if you could just give me a thumbs up or a hi in the comment, let me know that you're here. That would be very helpful. If you are watching, I want to just take a moment to thank you for being a part of this Facebook group, Yoga for the Busy Nurse, where we're really focusing on how to get yoga in our lives. Because we're busy, pretty much. And we want to be able to get yoga consistently in our life instead of trying to aim for an hour class a week or maybe a month or on our weekends off or on vacation. We want to see and work on how we can get our yoga into our life every day. So I recommend about 15 to 20 minutes of yoga a day. It's completely doable. You can wake up half an hour early to get this in. It's so important, especially in our stressful nurse lives. It will help bring many benefits to your life, especially, releasing stress, just full body stress, emotional stress, and then tension, shoulders, neck, back, hips, feet. So many great benefits. And if you're new here, that's perfectly fine. If you're new to the yoga mat, that's beautiful. I'm so happy that you decided to show up. And this is all going to be beginner focused yoga in this group. All right, so with that being said, again, if you're here and you're watching, please just give me a thumbs up or a wave or a hi, just let me know. If not, I will get started with the program. It's gonna be probably about 10 to 15 minutes. Again, I know you're busy. So I just wanna go through a couple things. As many of you guys have known, I have moved from Michigan to Maine. So in my move, I had the opportunity to have a complete room. Before I was taping in my living room. So now I have a complete room for taping. So I understand that one space can be limited for a lot of people, which can be the first barrier of not being able to do yoga at home. You may not have a space. So what I wanted to just talk about is creating space. And that's part of the yoga. By creating space and decluttering is part of your living your yoga. And to find a spot in your home, basement, garage, outdoors, somewhere that allows you to escape, to recover from your day. All right. So technically, it's 21 square feet for a yoga mat, for a traditional yoga mat. Now, they do make longer, wider, round yoga mats, all different kinds, but traditionally, it's 21 square feet for a yoga mat. So I usually recommend to have a space that's about 5 feet by 5 feet if you just have room for the yoga mat, and that's really all you want in your room, and that's perfectly fine. That's what you need yoga for, is a yoga mat. That's what you get in the studios mostly. So you want to find a space in your home that's convenient, one that you might pass by once in a while, so it's kind of like a reminder or motivation to get into the room or get to that space. And then obviously you want it to be kind of clean and tidy. You don't want it to be cluttered, because again, who wants to go into a cluttered area where there's cluttered mind, and that's not where we want to be able to heal. As nurses, we deal with clutter throughout our entire work shift, taking care of others. So when you go to finally escape to take care of yourself, you really want it to be a nice, neat, clean space, okay? The other thing is private. Now, for my moms out there, I have taught many times with moms being with their children. or maybe for your fur babies as well, that can definitely interrupt your practice. So the best that you can, again, this is why focusing 10, 15, 20 minutes a day is so much easier than trying to get that hour yoga class in. It's so hard to escape for that hour from the distractions or from the family or friends or pets, okay? So with that being said, the distractions, try to limit as much distraction in your space as you possibly can. That means your cell phone, take that out of the room unless you use it for music, if you like the music in the background. But what I recommend is to to remove all distraction. Another great thing is if you use your computer, so if you are in my membership, a lot of times you're using your computer or a device to watch the yoga videos, turn off any notifications or turn off any of your mail. So every little beep, ding that comes through is a distraction for your mind while you're practicing. So you really, again, want it to not only be distraction free from people, but also virtually as well. Okay? And then, again, pick a space in your home that you actually like to go to. Now, if it's a corner in your basement, you can totally jazz it up so that finally you can like to go to that space. But definitely think about these spaces that you like to go to in your room, in your house or in your room or wherever you are able to make this space for yourself. Again, 21 square feet, 5 by 5, 5 feet by 5 feet is really all you need for the yoga mat. And but if you want to, jazz it up a little bit, you might need more room for that as well. And your yoga mat doesn't always need to be laid out. You can roll up the yoga mat, so these spaces can have, they can be used for more than one thing. All right. So, and then I always say, decorate to motivate. So put things in your space that are going to motivate you to move, whether it's a calendar for a checklist. As nurses, we love checklists, every day, 10 to 15 minutes, boom, 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 check it off. Give yourself a gift at the end of the week for doing that all week, or a gift at the end of the month. Treat yourself, give yourself rewards, right? For showing up for yourself. You deserve it. So you need to take that time. So again, just to recap what we need for our space, you need 5 feet by 5 feet, 21 square feet for a yoga mat. If you have more space than that, if you have a whole room, if you're blessed with a room, that's perfect. You can go crazy and basically set up your own yoga studio in there. And then you want the space to be clean, tidy, distraction-free, and convenient for you, someplace that you like to go to. Also, decorate to motivate. Okay, so that's the big thing. If you have the opportunity to decorate to motivate. Some things that I have in mind are, Buddha statues. I have some candles. I have essential oils. I have crystals, some plants, stuff like that. When I'm taping, I don't have too much distraction. I like to keep the wall behind me clear because I do a lot of like legs up the wall. And if you're moving or you might shimmy or shake, sometimes if you are working on handstands, anything like that, you really don't want to have anything around. If you put your legs up on the wall or if you flip up into a handstand, you have a plant on a shelf, you don't want it to fall down. So safety first when it comes to that as well. So the second part of today's little workshop program here is to talk about yoga products. And this is something that I get asked about a lot, like what yoga products do I use? And so I want to share that with you today. I also will have a PDF available for you. See, distraction. I also will have a PDF available for you that you can print out. And there's also going to be a link on there that you can click directly and it'll take you right to my YHN must-have yoga list. And it has all the links that will give you right to the shops and the spots of where my stuff is, okay, if you're interested in that. Or ask any questions. I'm more than happy to help. So the one and only must-have in your yoga space is a yoga mat, okay? Now, there are a plethora of yoga mats out there. And believe me, you do not need technically a yoga mat. You can use a towel as well. But if you're gonna go for a yoga mat, treat yourself to a good yoga mat. If you are just trying out yoga and you're like, I don't really know how I'm gonna like it, you can go to those Five Below stores and get the cheap, 10 or under yoga mats. But a lot of the times, one, they smell really bad. And two, sometimes they pill. And if you're gonna practice every day, you're gonna have a lot of wear and tear. So it is really important to just invest in yourself, invest in your practice. If you have nice things, you're gonna want to show up on the mat a little bit more frequently. The other thing that I find personally is that a lot of the times when I'm practicing, especially if it's hot yoga or if it's just hot in my room, or if I'm teaching, I usually am talking and I'm sweating and all that good jazz, I slip a lot. So they do have these like slipping gloves and slipping non-slip socks and gloves that you can buy if that's an issue, but now you're investing more money in these things and having to put on all this stuff that again could technically be a barrier to your practice. So you want to invest in a nice non-slip mat if slipping is your issue. Again, if you're just trying yoga out, you can totally get any of the, more affordable, cheaper yoga mats out there. The mat that I use is from Lululemon. It was about $79 for the yoga mat. It has lasted me 3 years. My other one lasted me about 4 years, and I used it everywhere. They come in different millimeters, so there's a 3 millimeter and a 5 millimeter. If you need a little bit more squishy, you want to obviously go thicker. They do have thicker mats out there if you have difficulty with your knees or anything like that, that you can buy. However, the thicker the mat, the harder the balancing is going to be because the floor is a little bit squishy. Which brings me to my next point, your floor. Consider where you're practicing. Best practice would be on hardwood. As you can see in my yoga room, I have carpet. Now, some yoga pictures or home studios, you'll have like a area rug. Technically, sometimes area rugs are thinner, so you can easily put the yoga mat onto the area rug. When your house is carpeted, the carpet, you want nice, squishy, soft carpet. So when you put the yoga mat down, sometimes the yoga mat can move up or slip or crinkle. And you really don't want that, especially if you're going from lunging and all that, just for safety purposes. You definitely don't want to have to trip on your own yoga mat. So one of the things that I have purchased recently, and it's on the list that I'll give you today, it's called a life board. Now for us nurses, it's kind of looks a little similar to a backboard. It has handles on it. It snaps together very easily. It comes apart in 2 pieces. So this is really great. It's basically like a yoga platform for on top of carpet. Now it does restrict you a little bit. Like if you put your arms out, you're going to have to, it goes over the board a little bit because it is so narrow. So there's some stuff like that. You also can definitely build your own yoga platform that will kind of allow you to do all that stuff in a bigger space. But again, you're going to need bigger space for that. So this is, and there's a link to that on the list today. I bought this on Amazon. So that allows the floor underneath me until I redo my floors to be hard, and so my mat won't slip up or crinkle up, okay? So the mat, number one, the only thing you need. This life board thing, I would say that's a nice to have. You definitely don't need that if you have carpet, but it is a definite nice to have, okay? So must have, yoga mat. What type? It's all up to you. Ask me any questions if you want to, hey, I checked out this yoga mat. What do you think about it? I've used Lululemon and I've used Manduka, and I definitely have used some of those like Five Below mats. They're usually like $6 or less. So, but again, the wear and tear on those, and let me just tell you, yoga class cleanup from those things when you are wear and tear. It's you definitely need a vacuum for that. So they leave traces behind. So next is props. Now, if you know me, you know that I use props all the time in my yoga practice. I think that props are essential. I think a lot of the times that we are pushing our bodies over its capability because we think we need to practice how we think we should look versus how we feel. So I use yoga props all the time. Luca wants to come and say hi. You'll see my cats in my yoga videos as well. So the cats love the yoga blanket, as you can tell. So Luca is nicely demonstrating the blanket. So I'll start with that. A yoga blanket is basically any blanket that you have. And this is just nice to put underneath your butt when you're sitting or cover up in Shavasana. You can also roll it up, like if you don't have a bolster. So having a blanket handy, I usually recommend to have not like a really plushy one, because sometimes we use it to, pop the chest forward. So you kind of want it to have a little bit of a stiffer one, a heavier blanket. That's definitely nicer to have, and your animals will love it too. So this blanket is on the list as well that you will be getting. And then the other need to haves, if you're in my membership, I always recommend, because I practice with them and I teach with them, these props. So a blanket is one. Again, you can get any kind of blanket. Another one is a yoga strap. So a yoga strap, when I first started teaching yoga, I was using Thomas's old ties. So I was giving them out to people as I was teaching at the YMCA. And that works perfectly fine, but they are on the shorter end. So yoga straps usually come in 6 feet, 8 feet, and 10 feet for the taller people. I usually go about 8 feet in the middle. And with a yoga strap, they can be made from cotton or hemp. They basically look like this. As you can see, you can use a towel even for these if you don't have a yoga strap or a tie. You will have a buckle on the end. Some are plastic, some are metal. It's just up to you what type you want. Just always be aware of the metal, because I've been known to hit myself with this. But what a yoga strap allows you to do is it allows you to, put it around your leg and assist with straightening out your leg if you can't really reach your toes. What I love to use it for is shoulder mobility. I don't have really great shoulder mobility, so therefore I use a strap to work on that, to get better shoulder mobility. I can't put my hands together, clasp my fingers together, but with a strap, I'm able to raise my arms up overhead. And I'll show you guys that in a later video. So, yoga strap. All right, and all this will be on the list that's provided today. The second thing is, and probably my favorite prop, is yoga blocks. All right, so a yoga block can come in different thicknesses. I recommend 4 inches when you're first starting out. There are thinner ones. Basically, what a yoga block is meant to do is allow the floor to come up to you. So again, for my tight hamstring people out there, a yoga block is your best friend. All right? A lot of times we're going to jam our bodies into something it doesn't want to go into, and these puppies are going to help you to do yoga properly and safely. So these are foam. So these are a little squishier, and then these are cork. So these are a little bit stiffer. Sometimes I'll use the blocks to like elevate my back in fish or restorative bound angle and stuff like that. The cork tends to be a little bit more stiffer, harder for a restorative pose, so I do like foam blocks for that. They also make wood blocks. If you don't have a block, you'll see a lot of yoga teachers recommend for you to use like books. So what are you doing with those old nursing textbooks? Beautiful opportunity to reuse those if you don't have yoga blocks. All right, so strap, yoga mat, strap, yoga block. Next one. So those really, I would say, are the must-haves. One of my other favorite ones is called a bolster. And this is basically just a long, thicker pillow. So if you don't have bolsters, you can always use pillows. Go for the stiffer pillows versus the squishier pillows, because this helps to elevate your body in many ways. So you don't really want to squish it, so it helps to support you. Again, all this stuff is listed. So this is a hugger mugger bolster. And then they also have different sizes of bolsters. This is a like little thinner one. You can use this underneath your knees in Shavasana. So these are just really great comforting props. But you can always use your old pillows or your couch pillows. I've been known to pull those off the couch as well. So though that is kind of an in-betweeny of a must-have, need-to-have. So, or yeah, need-to-have, nice-to-have. So a nice-to-have is a meditation pillow. This is stiffer, and it allows you to sit comfortably. I have super tight hips, so I always like to be elevated. I have a tough time keeping my spine tall when I'm sitting on the floor in lotus pose or easy seat. All right, so this meditation pillow definitely helps me to stay in meditation a little bit longer. Yes, I usually get tired after like 2 minutes. So I can stay for a whole 5 minutes with this. All right, and then another one that is nice to have, this is a foam roller. So if you're having some muscle tension and stuff like that, now this and I had a tennis ball, but it must have rolled away. I don't see it right now. So this and my tennis ball are usually my yoga recovery. Now, you've probably seen foam rollers before in, sporting goods stores, or you might even have one. Now, most of foam rollers are very stiff, and it's hard. Like, you can barely breathe when you're trying to roll out your tight muscles, especially around your IT band. So if you have like sore hips and lower back, stuff like that, we want to really try to roll those out and create squishing of that fascia and give it more hydration in there. And this is a great way to do it. So this one is on the list as well. I believe the Pro Roller, OPTP. I got this on Amazon, is the name of the company, OPTP. And it's really soft and it gives, and I don't cry every time I roll out my IT band. The other harder ones, or like the ones with I call them the spikes, they definitely will cause some discomfort. And who wants to continue self-care if it makes you uncomfortable? So, here's the tennis ball. So tennis ball is great for footwork or just to get in really those points of discomfort for releasing like tension in your neck or your shoulders. So there's tons of different things that you can do with a tennis ball. You can use lacrosse balls, you can use golf balls. They're a little bit harder. Again, we want to give ourselves comforting support and recovery in our room. So with that being said, I want to just invite you to share what your yoga space looks like in your home. So maybe take a picture or a video of you in the room, and just share it to our Facebook group. I would love to see what you have in your space. It also gives other people ideas. Pinterest has a few ideas. In the PDF, there are a few inspirational rooms that might help you to decorate or to think about what works best in your space. And then again, you will be getting a link or the PDF directly in this group. I will post the PDF so you can get all the great information, including the list of where to find all this stuff today. And thank you so much for watching. And please feel free to share this group with at least one nurse friend today. It's Sunday Fun Day. Share yoga with at least one nurse friend today. And please reach out if you have any comments. Again, if I missed your comment or question today, just pop it in there and I will get back to you ASAP. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you on the mat soon. Thank you for watching. Namaste in nursing.